Hi, I'm Geraint Jones, currently Kent's wicketkeeper, former England player, involved in the Ashes. 2005 was the main highlight, winning those Ashes in that year. Incredible team to be part of. And this is what's in my sports bag for equipio.com. So we start off with, obviously, the wicket-keeping side of it. That's my main bit. So we have the pads, sponsored by Puma, and have been since I basically started playing for England. So getting on now for 8-9 years. It's been a fantastic sort of relationship, and I'm more than happy. You can see the kit's pretty cool, different sort of stuff. Got the blue colours because we're in 2020 time at the moment, and Kent, we play in blue pads. So these are my keeping pads, quite small, really lightweight, just pretty cool. Got my gloves. I get them made up in India, especially for the start of the season, and they've arrived again, good as ever. Colours fantastic, really love it. All to my spec, so can't be any complaints with missing the ball. As well as those, I tend to add my inners, which I've got a few pairs here. Have to cut fingers and stuff just to get the right feel, but they all go together and hopefully help me catch the ball. Spikes, so your footwear, essential part of cricket, especially for me as a keeper. I'm on my feet all the time, so I'm really lucky with the way Puma make their shoes. You can see last game was a bit wet and muddy, so still got a bit of stuff left on them, but footwear for me is essential. And when we're out in the field, got our caps. This is my Kent cap. I'm the 195th capped player for Kent. As you can see, this one's had a bit of wear. We've been doing a bit of fielding this season, so the sun's been out and changing the colour. So if I don't wear that one, I tend to put this one on, which I've cut down and mocked up to my shape. So they go in there. And then move on to the batting. Again, the pads, blue, 2020 time. Similar looking to the keeping pads. I get a bit of stick for these. The opposition sort of call me a stormtrooper and all sorts, but the main thing is they're lightweight, superb protection, and they're pretty cool. So another good product for me to wear. Gloves. I like the feel of the bat, and so I wear youth's gloves. They're a bit smaller. Most people wear the men's, but for me, I like wearing the smaller gloves just so I can have that feel, and it works for me. Protection wise, we've got the thigh pads. These go on there and there. I had these made up especially for me down in Cardiff. They fit to spec, and they do a great job, so if the ball gets hit on those, I don't feel it. Got my helmet, which batting and keeping I always wear, especially in 2020 stuff, standing up to the quick bowlers. Don't want to ruin these good looks, so make sure I have this on. It's taken a few blows, so thankfully it's still intact, and it does its job. Got the other main bit is the box protection. No comments on the size of that one. That's just purely keeping. I don't want a big bulky thing so as I'm diving around, so that's for keeping, that's for batting. Touch wood, they've worked, one son and another little one on the way, so they've done their job. If I ever want to change grips, I always carry this one. This is a grip changer. You just slide it down, pop it on the top when they get worn, so I like to carry that around. And of course, when batting, got the main bit, piece of willow, made for me especially in Northampton by the Puma bat maker. He does a fantastic job. The boys in the dressing room are always jealous of my bats when I bring them out at the start of the year, and always fantastic, so happy with them. And then we move on to the end of play. Got to have a well stocked up grooming bag, so that's what I've got in here. It's all sorts of other stuff, deodorant, smelly after a long day's play, so that's there. A bit of need a shave during the day, probably at the moment, so that's all in there. But you've got to make sure, us cricketers like our evenings after play, so you've got to be looking sharp. So that's what that's there for. And then finally, this bit is just an odds and sods bag. Covers all eventualities. bit of nail polish remover, but that's for keeping the face clean. That's why that's in there. Bit of tape in case the few issues with the bats, but just anything in there. Studs, if I need to change my studs, it's all covered in that little bag. So that's basically it. A lot of kit. It's part of being a keeper. I've got to carry around all this sort of stuff, so that's a bit of a task, but luckily it's all good stuff by Puma, and that's it. My kit bag's empty now.